Welcome to RSSDI TV 2020. I am Dr. Shahu Ingole and you are watching me on RSSDI TV brought to you by Vocard. Today I am honored to have with me an eminent personality and renowned senior diabetologist from Delhi, a past president of Endocrine Society of India and RSSDI, Dr. S.V. Madhu sir. Sir is the director, professor and head, Center for Diabetes and Endocrinology and Metabolism, University College of Medical Sciences, GTP Hospital, Delhi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So,
Greetings
based
to
on
all.
So, sir, based on your recent talk in RSSDI, we would like to know what is your opinion about the need for robust guidelines for the management of diabetes mellitus.
Okay, so the guidelines for any disease, particularly a chronic disease like diabetes, is absolutely essential to have a standardized care of the diabetic patient. Also, over the years, so many new drugs and developments have taken place, and not only in the management of diabetes, but also the diagnosis and various complications of diabetes. And therefore, often the physician is confused about what is the right option for diagnosis and treatment. And hence, if you have a guideline by a reputed organization in the country or the world, then it's an informed decision that the physician can take. And that helps, in turn, the patient of diabetes to receive improved diabetes care. And in all over the world, diabetes care improves because of such guidelines. And therefore, guidelines are often important and essential, in fact, these days.
So, sir, what changes do you see that has happened in various national and international guidelines for the diabetes management over a period of 25 years?
Yeah. See, 25 years ago, the choices were limited, the knowledge was limited, and therefore it was far easier, not only for the physician to take easy decisions, but also for any guideline to be formulated, because it was simple, straight, and limited information to be given to the physician. However, over the years, so much information is gathered, there has been a sea change. For example, there has been a paradigm shift. You see, the initial guidelines largely focused on glucose. They were glucocentric. And with passage of time, this evolved into what we today call the patient-centric approach of treating diabetes, because everything is individualized. You have choices available, you have different types of patients available, and you need to tailor the choice to the individual needs of the patient. Therefore, a major change that has occurred is a change in approach to an individualized or a patient-centric approach. And of late, because of drugs evolving with other benefits, for example, cardiac benefits or cardiorenal benefits, now these have become the focus of recent revisions of all guidelines, whether it's Indian, American, or any other part of the world. So these are the basic changes that have occurred. And I think over the years and on the coming years, we'll probably focus more on the collateral benefits, particularly in terms of cardiovascular and renal mortality in diabetes.
Sir, actually, we have been following the various ADA guidelines, ESD guideline, ACE guideline. So, what's your take on the diabetes guidelines customized to the needs of the Indian patients?
Yeah, we've been traditionally looking to the American Diabetic Association for its guidance. Although we fully realize that while many of the recommendations may be applicable, the Indian patient is not exactly same as the Western patient. And there are several aspects of the Indian context which differ from the Western world. For example, we are more insulin resistant. We are thin, fat Indians. The phenotype is different. We respond differently to different drugs. And we also have a different profile of complications. For example, we have excess coronary artery disease and macrovascular complications and so on. And the economic situation is different. Accessibility of care is different. And therefore, there used to be and always has been a need for Indian specific guidelines. And now I'm happy to say that, RSSDI has worked over it, and the first guidelines, or first edition of the guidelines specific to India were released in 2015 by RSSDI, and they have been updated every 2 years. And I'm also happy to share that in 2020, these guidelines were updated not only by RSSDI, but in partnership with the Endocrine Society of India. So they are now truly national guidelines, and the Indian physician can look for guidance through these guidelines. They have been customized, and it's easy for the Indian physician to not only look at the latest developments, which are now covered in the latest guidelines, additional guidelines, but also they have an informed choice about what is probably most applicable to the Indian patient. We also have the RSSDI therapeutic wheel, which actually is a physician-friendly innovation, which I'm sure the physicians, when they start using it, will find it very useful in their practice. So it's there, and we need to look at Indian-specific guidelines for our treatment of patients.
So, sir, what is your final take-home message to the Indian practitioners and diabetologists watching this show as far as the usage of various guidelines are concerned, ED guideline, ESD guideline, and now, as you told that in 2020 it will be a collaboration of RSSDA and the Endocrine Society of India. So, what's your final take-home message?
No, final take is simple. These guidelines have already come out. They were finalized last year and released as the 2020 guidelines, and joint guidelines of RSSD and ESI. So I would definitely recommend that all Indian physicians should look to the RSSD ESI guidelines when it comes to deciding the treatment instead of going to the Western world. That's the final take-home message.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views on various guideline development over a period of 25 years and joining us on RSSDI TV brought to you by WOCAD. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.